fair, I probably could have just crouched and still look like I'm sitting down.
That was just to do Kat on her own there, really, wasn't it? You know what I mean? It was just because you wanted to have her to have all the photographs taken.
Like a true gentleman that I am. How's it going, everybody? All good? Good, good. So we're the first panel of the day, apparently. No pressure on us, then. So, welcome to the Anime Limited panel. First of all, how many of you guys have heard of Anime Limited before or know who we are?
Good.
Excellent. For those of you who don't know, allow me to give you a bit of background info. We are Anime Limited, but our brand in general is known as All the Anime. We deal primarily with anime releases here in the UK. We also have a label in France. And what we do with anime releases is we like to do something a little bit different in many ways. We like to focus more on a collective style product. So if you've been by our booth today, and we're going to be talking about some of the products in a few minutes, we like to, for example, add a rigid box, have a book that comes with it, maybe some art cards, maybe something ridiculously elaborate like just a big, massive box with a bunch of stuff in it. We really like to dabble into that market because we know, like us as fans as well, that we really want the big style box sets or something akin to that you see in Japan and that you see online, and you sometimes think, oh, why can't I get my hands on this ridiculously elaborate box? And then we are here to help fill that void, as it were. So that's sort of a little brief introduction as to what we do. We like to liken ourselves to aiming for an anime equivalent or an anime version, if any of you are familiar with it, with the Criterion collection of releases, which is a really high-end release. We go all out as much as we can on releases. And I suppose this brings me on to the person sitting to my right, because, folks, this is Kat's first panel ever. So give her a nice round of applause.
I'm very nervous. I don't even know why, but yeah.
So Kat, everybody, and there's a really specific reason I wanted to bring her on the panel today, other than put her in front of an audience and see how she coped. It was because she's one of our product managers, and so she's one of the people that actually designs and puts our releases together and gets the approvals done. So one of the ones that you did, Kat, just to give an example, how many of you like Space Dandy? You know the box for Space Dandy Season 2 that came with the specially commissioned design, an art book, 20 art cards, all featuring artwork from the Japanese release? That was all Kat's work in designing and putting that together. So she's got a really, really good eye for this, and she's a massive fan as well. And in case you're wondering why she was introduced as the magical girl of Anime Limited, it's because she loves magical girls.
Yeah. Good.
There you go. So, talking about products, and again, partly why I want to bring Kat, let's talk about some of our upcoming products, of which if we turn to the big screens, we're going to be showing you a few images as well. First of all, Full Metal Panic. How many of you have heard of that show before? Excellent. So, to kind of put context into this, Full Metal Panic is a show that came out, I want to say probably mid-2000s, maybe slightly earlier. And it's a really fun show, which I personally akin to the A-Team with some mecha in it. Good, people laughed. I'm glad that worked. And so we are bringing the entire series, all 3 seasons. Season 1, the second season known as Famofu, which is more of a comedy gag style version of events. And then the 3rd season, the second raid, which has never had a release over here before. And we've put together an Ultimate Edition box of this, which isn't actually out until December the 7th. And you can buy it today at our stand, because we worked flipping hard to bring it here early for you guys. So if you guys want to go down to our booth, you'll be able to pick it up there today. And in it, it comes in a big box, as you can see on the screen. It has a fitment where there are 3 cases inside, 1 for each season. So we know there are lots of people out there who, when it comes to the Ultimate Editions, sometimes it's just a bit too big for the shelf. With this version, it means you can take out the 3 cases, you can pop them on your shelf, and you can display them like that. Trying to, what's the way to put it? Trying to cater to as many people as we can with this. But you also get what we call the Ultimate Art Book. Because it's Ultimate, you know, it's Ultimate Edition. And it's got art from all 3 seasons of Full Metal Panic in there. So if you're a Full Metal Panic fan, you really need this in your collection. It's pretty sweet. What do you think of it, Kat? Were you happy with how it came out?
I'm very happy. I'm also quite proud of the foam fitment, because obviously with Gurren Lagann there was a lot of kind of crushing issues, and everyone was a bit upset about that. So we kind of took inspiration from some other collector's editions we saw, and decided to do the foam fitment, so that means nothing gets crushed. Hopefully. I don't know, unless you like run it over with a car or something, but hopefully not. Please don't do that and then email us saying, oh, this got crushed, because I wouldn't believe you somehow, but yeah, fingers crossed.
This accidentally got crushed by my car running over it.
Yeah, it's just stress test.
Stress test?
Yeah.
The car?
Stress test in the product.
Was this Mythbusters?
Yeah, will it blend?
So, next up, how many of you are Gundam fans? Good, there's a few of you, that's a good sign. So, Mobile Suit Gundam Part 1, because there are 2 parts, you see. And this is the original series that was first broadcast in 1979 in Japan, I want to say. This is the original series, remastered in HD, which in itself is a miracle in my opinion, that was actually possible, given how film has, like, the way that film has been preserved over the years and techniques that have been implemented. When you think back to the 70s, how that probably was or wasn't happening, it's really something that this was possible. So it's the original series, we're releasing it over 2 parts, and with part 1 actually, the first 1,000 units come with a box to store both halves. It's a UK exclusive box. And we have part 1 today at our booth. Its general retail date isn't actually until the 30th of November. So basically December, again, you're noticing a pattern here. So, I didn't hear that heckle, but hey. So yeah, the first part of Mobile Suit Gundam, it is available now. If you want more details on it, if you go to our blog, which is blog.alltheanime.com, I posted a preview on there about a few days ago now actually, just taking a few bits and bobs that you should be aware of and actually give you a preview of the product itself. Kat, are you a Gundam fan? You don't have to be.
You know the answer to that.
Okay.
I've not seen any. I'm so sorry.
Out of interest, who here has never seen a Gundam series?
Oh, yeah, you're all with me. It's fine.
How many of you are interested in any way, shape, or form of sampling a Gundam show at some point?
That's good.
How many of you are thinking of trying Mobile Suit Gundam Part 1? There was legitimately for 2 seconds there, one hand that went up.
So brave, so brave. It's such a big franchise as well. So.
But there is more coming, and if any of you guys are here on Sunday actually, at midday in here, there is going to be the Sunrise Mobile Suit Gundam panel, and there will be some more news about Gundam coming in 2016.
It's pretty ominous.
I know, right? Pardon? Someone just shout G Gundam. Okay, I just need to say this now, right? If any of you guys have never seen G Gundam, just read the Wikipedia. It's one of the greatest things ever. Without trying to give too much away about it, admittedly I've not seen a lot of it, but Keith, who works in our office and is also one of the other product managers, he is a massive G Gundam fan. And he was telling us how basically there is essentially a Mexican Gundam.
Oh, this is the...
And then there's like an Italian Gundam.
This is the
Exactly.
This is Eurovision Song Contest Gundam.
It's Eurovision Song
Yeah.
Contest Gundam. There you go. For the record, I don't know if we're releasing that, so do not take that as a quote or anything.
Yeah.
For the record. So the next product, I should get back onto the topic here. How many of you have heard of a series called Bano? For those of you who don't know, this is by the person who actually wrote Durarara. And this is the entire series being released on Blu-ray for the first time. It's a limited edition set, it comes packed in a rigid case, it's got a digipack to hold the discs, and also has a book with some really detailed interviews in it. There's some really, really interesting information on there. And it's the entire series, all 13 episodes, and the extra 3 OVA episodes, which I really like because they actually follow on from the events of the series and touch on some things that weren't necessarily covered. And if you're a fan perhaps of films like Pulp Fiction and the way that stories are told, you need to give this a shot. It's pretty blooming violent in places, but you need to give it a shot. And that can be bought today, because we actually got our delivery about 2 hours ago. Yeah, you're from the warehouse. So you can actually buy that today, and that's not actually out until mid-November. I can't give you a definitive date on that because it's still being finalised, but it is coming out within the next 3 to 4 weeks. But if you want to have it today, you can buy it today at our booth. And now, back to Magical Girls we go. Out of interest, how many of you have heard of or are fans of the Fate Stay Night franchise, or Fate Zero? How many of you have heard of Fate Kaleid line of Prisma Iliad? Yeah, I can imagine why some of you are thinking that way. Stop it. So, this is coming out actually in a couple of weeks' time, so in November, and this is a product that Kat was involved in designing. So, Kat, can you tell us a little bit of your inspiration behind it? What did you have in mind when you were going into this?
No, basically, obviously in Japan it's in 5 volumes, but obviously we're releasing it into 1, so it was just a ton of key art, and I pretty much just crammed it all into the one packaging. So, you know, it was just everywhere. Lift up the disc, there's art there. In the back of the book, there's art there. You know, obviously the art book is full of art, so yeah, I just made sure I used up pretty much every asset that we received for Fate Kaleid.
One of the other interesting things, though, which is a bit unique to our releases actually, is that this actually has tarot cards with it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I found them when I was like looking through and thought it would be a waste to not do them, so basically I just hassled the printers until they did it. So it's a nice little bonus, but as well as the art book, just to have the 4 tarot cards, and they're to the size as well, I think. So I had a look today and it looked great. So if you're a fan of, like, obviously a riff-off magical girls, because they're pretty much in the series, they're like, oh, I sure wish I was a magical girl, and then obviously it happens, and then that's the whole point of the series, and yeah. So if you like magical girls and kind of want just a cheeky spin-off, then pick it up, basically.
Available today. And Kat, I guess I should ask, you mentioned, it's like, oh, I want to be a magical girl. Do you say that on a daily basis? Or?
No, unless work is too stressful. But I think I'm a bit too old for that now, you know.
You're never too old.
Well, I don't know. I never chose to be a magical girl, but I think if I just ran down this.
Don't say that to me. I can't comment.
Well, you could be one too, Jeremy.
Don't suggest this.
You can come in singing the theme tune to like whatever anime you like, and wearing a dress.
Do it.
Yeah. Okay. I have photoshopped my laptop. I will sort that out for everyone and put it on Twitter. So.
Wow. I walked into this one, didn't I?
You did.
I will say, I did once cosplay as Kumadori from One Piece. That was fun. In fact, it was actually here at MCM Comic Con back in, I want to say 07 or 08. I was like, had proper pink wig, suit, starch green tie, Kumadori Kabuki style makeup. It was quite a sight to behold. There are photos online somewhere, and that's never happening again.
I'll add them next to the picture of him. I'll do a good search, it's fine.
So, we've talked about what we've got here this weekend. Who would like to hear some news about what might be coming in the future from us? Yeah! Cool, so this first one, we're going to start off with a clip for you. And so we're going to turn our attention to the video screen, then we'll talk a little bit about it after. Yeah, Ninja Slayer from Animation. That is actually its title, by the way. So figure that one out. Yes, we are going to be releasing Ninja Slayer from Animation in the UK in 2016. Woo! Out of interest, how many of you have never heard or seen that series before? I'm really glad I played that trailer because it's a bit wacky, isn't it? So, to give a little bit of context for this, for those of you wondering why there are black bars at the side of the screen, that was intentional. It was purposely animated in 4:3 to give an old school feel. It's also, if I remember correctly, by Studio Trigger, who are the people that did Kill la Kill. So if you're looking for something, a bit of an old school feel, it's quite different in places. They kind of almost go for like, I don't know how to describe it, it's kind of like almost just flat 2D animation, and it randomly breaks into some anime. You saw some examples of it in that video. It's pretty wacky. I believe you can still watch the simulcast of it currently at Viewster.com. Our pals at Viewster are actually here this weekend and doing a panel with them on Sunday, if anyone's interested. It's 12:30 PM in here. Yeah, so if you guys want to check it out, do, because it is something very, very different to what you see nowadays. And we'll have more details coming on that very soon. Can't share anything else with you at this time, so we're still finalising. But Ninja Slayer from Animation is coming from Anime Limited. Now, our next one, who here prefers films of anime rather than TV series? One person! So, you're going to love this next announcement. So, this next one, we're going to show you the trailer first, and then we'll talk to you a little bit about it. Have a watch of this trailer for our next announcement. Expelled from Paradise, everybody. We're going to be releasing that. Awesome. Glad to be fans of it. Yeah, we're going to be releasing that here in the UK. Going to be during 2016. Can't share many other details at this time. Might be able to by the end of the weekend if you check our blog sites and such. But this film is actually really cool. I really like it. For those of you who may have travelled up to Scotland for the Scotland Loves Anime Film Festival, because I know a few of you like to go around the country. It was actually shown at, thank you very much. It was actually shown there, its premiere, UK premiere, was actually up there just about a week ago. And it's a really, really interesting film. And this was obviously the English dub clip. And there's an interesting fact about the main two voice actors, isn't there, Kat?
Yeah, it's Spike and Faye from Bebop that voice them. So it makes the dub worth it to watch. So I'm quite excited for that, because I've only seen it in Japanese, obviously. But yeah.
So very interesting that like the roles are reversed. It's like this time Faye's the main character, and then the voice of Spike is the second character. It's quite an interesting dynamic. Really cool film. The way it's been animated, it's primarily a CG film, but it's still very much an anime, and it's got a very interesting look to it. And out of interest, did the trailer interest you guys in it at all? Yeah. Good. I'm glad these trailers actually do their job.
Yeah.
There was a heckle. Didn't hear it. Sorry. Okay, so this next one, which you have seen 2 seconds of in silence, but you will now get in sound, is a series, and here is a clip of it, and I will tell you more about it after. Here you go, everybody. Now, I'm going to do a little pop quiz here. Does anybody know what that is? Correct! Tokyo ESP. It's a really fun series, actually. I had a chance to preview it recently. So for those of you who don't really know what it's about or couldn't really gauge exactly what was going on from that clip, let me give you a little bit of info, because I don't want to spoil anything potentially here. Essentially, in Tokyo, given the title obviously, there are people called espers who have powers, and think of a condensed version here, Jeremy, very quickly, because you're being put on the spot. So, these people have powers, and in a way they're being persecuted, let's say, and they're sick and tired of being held back. Now it's their time. The first episode, it gets pretty flippin' violent, actually. I nearly played a clip which would have had a lot of gore, but I didn't know if there were going to be any small children here, so I decided not to. But as you saw from that, there are some powers involved and lots of fighting, and there are some good espers and there are some bad espers. But the story takes a bit of a different direction, let's say. It goes in a direction you don't necessarily expect. And yeah, I think we're going to leave it at that. But we are going to be releasing Tokyo ESP in 2016. We will have more details for you very soon. So, Kat, I'm going to deviate here for a little second here. You like lots of anime. Any that are your favourites in particular?
Like, do you mean what I'm watching at the moment?
Yeah, like, just in general. Like, what's one that stands out that you haven't watched for a while that you'd like to see?
I don't know. Because I'm just going to say Sakura again, I'm sorry. I know I always mention it in the podcast and everyone just assumes that we're going to license it, but I don't think we are, unless I have bucket loads of cash and run off and open my own anime company. So I'm trying to think what else. I think I mentioned Lucky Star as well, didn't I? Yay! What else? Wasn't it the same studio that did Haruhi as well, wasn't it?
Well, Kat,
What?
you do realise that I didn't tell you this, did I? Crap.
No.
I really,
It's not.
okay, so this is the point where I really should have filled Kat in on all the details here. You do realise that we've licensed Haruhi Suzumiya Season 1?
Yeah! That's my reaction there. Reacting for me.
So,
That's pretty awesome. This is where I fall off the chair, just roll away. Yeah.
Do you want to see a video?
Yeah.
Alright,
Does
so...
anyone else want to see a video?
You want to see a video?
Yeah.
Let's watch the video, woman. There you have it. Yeah, look, I hope so. If you weren't hoping for it, sorry. But yes, The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. We are going to be releasing Season 1 of this on Blu-ray here in the UK. Yeah! Just saw some of the crowd literally going, oh. It's the best reaction ever. Yeah, it's a very interesting story behind this title, because for those of you who don't know, Season 1 was released originally by Bees Entertainment, and after a while, because Bees Entertainment went under, it just went out of print and the license reverted, and it was just in limbo for so many years, and Season 2 got a DVD release over here, and then the movie got a release. But Season 1 was just in limbo, and it just seemed there was no answer coming for it. But now we're happy that we can fill that void and bring Season 1 back to the UK, and of course in HD, as you've got to see a glimpse of there on the big screen, which I think it looks fantastic in HD. So, more details coming soon. Will be a 2016 release. And from there, what we want to do now is we want to talk about some of our upcoming releases for Q1 of next year, because we've been mentioning 2016, so just going to quickly tell you about a few things you can expect. First of all, how many of you have heard of a show called Ping Pong? Yeah! Good, I'm glad. That was meant to be getting released around October time, but there were some problems that came up. Happy to confirm that is now going to be coming out in early January, all going well the 11th of January. We're trying to work out something to add to the release at the moment as well because of the delay, so hopefully we'll have some details about that soon. But please be on the lookout for that. That will be a DVD and Blu-ray collector's edition. So both sets of discs in one pack, and like I say, we're trying to work on an element to add to the release for you, so stay tuned for that. There is a really, really cool film set in the Edo time period of Tokyo in Japan called Fusei Memoirs of a Huntress. For those of you that were back here in May at MCM London Comic Con, you would have seen us play a trailer for that. That is now also going to be released in early January. It was originally slated to come out later this year, but there were some problems that came up production-wise, but January is our new target for that. Expelled from Paradise, which we played the trailer of a few minutes ago, you can expect that by the 25th of January. I'm happy to report. Should be DVD and Blu-ray, but as I said, we're going to have more confirmed details for you very, very soon. How many of you are fans of Makoto Shinkai? He's done films such as The Garden of Words, Children Who Chase Lost Voices from Deep Below, and specifically, we are talking about The Place Promised in Our Early Days and Voices from a Distant Star. Now, this is sort of an ongoing gag at this point for Anime Limited, because this was originally meant to come out, what, Kat? A year and a half, 2 years ago?
2 centuries ago.
2 centuries ago. And there have just been a lot of delays with it, and it's just been completely out of our control. At the moment, we know people have been seeing date shifts going on Amazon and retailers and such. As it stands, we are aiming for February, but there is a good reason for this, because the Masters issue that we've had seemingly has been resolved, but we might be doing something a bit different with it now, Kat, mightn't we?
Yeah, maybe thinking of a steelbook, perhaps. No. I'm thinking of a steelbook, kind of a la Ghibli style, you know how they have their little collection. Hopefully, I mean, it looked good, and hopefully we can get the rest and do steelbooks as well. Not that I'm saying we have a license for any other ones at the moment, unless we have and I've just not realised. Okay, there you go. But yeah, hoping to do a steelbook of that, so that's why it's been delayed for like a million years.
Well, no, we should clarify, it's not that the steelbook is the reason for the delay, but it's just with the delay we were thinking, was there anything else we could perhaps do with this release? And it was sort of discussed internally, what if we were to do a steelbook for it? And it's not something we do very often. For those of you who are familiar with our releases, we really like to stick to a rigid box style release and put things inside there to make it really durable and whatnot. But the steelbook is something that Anime Limited has not delved into yet. So again, not 100% confirmed on that front, but it is something we are exploring. Out of interest, how many of you in here are interested in a steelbook release of something in general?
Oh, good.
Good. We were at least going to sell 10 copies if that happens.
I'll take a mental note of that for any future releases.
Tokyo ESP, which we showed the clip of a few minutes ago, all going well, that should be coming around February time as well. Durarara Cross 2. Season 2 of Durarara, as announced actually back here in May, we have the license to the entire Durarara Season 2. We also have... That's how we roll here. And, what was I going to say? Yes, we've also actually already released Season 1. You can actually buy that on both DVD and Blu-ray today at our booth if interested. It's the entire series in one pack. We are going to be releasing the first arc, if you will, of Durarara Cross 2 with the subtitle Show, I believe it's pronounced. That's going to be coming in February. Now, as things stand, Kat, correct me if I'm wrong here before I look like a loon. I'm saying this into a mic, so why not? But it's going to be all of that first arc in one set, correct? Yes. So all of Durarara Cross 2 Show in one set coming February time as things stand. A film that we are really excited about here at Anime Limited, and for those of you who are thinking of going to the MCM London Anime event happening at the Crystal down the road tomorrow, which, if you want more details on that, cinema.alltheanime.com for that. There's going to be 4 films showing, and one of them is Miss Hokusai, Production IG's Miss Hokusai. And that is actually going to be coming out in the UK on DVD and Blu-ray in March time. Good. Yes. Come on, Jeremy, you're reaching a quota, come on. So yes, March time is when we're aiming for it, but hopefully going to have more details soon as to specifics and such, and should be able to show off some designs for you and whatnot very soon. But March time is all going well when you can expect that. And one more thing that we want to make mention of, because we know quite a few people have been wondering what's happened to it because it's been dormant for quite a while, kind of like the Shinkai Twin Pack in many ways. How many of you have heard of a show called Terror in Resonance? Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, this was directed by Shinichiro Watanabe, the director of Cowboy Bebop. And exactly, good reaction. And it's a really, really good show. I really liked it. It involves sort of terrorist plots and whatnot, and sort of lots of mind games set in Tokyo. Only 11 episodes long, actually, so it's really packing a lot into a small punch. Hang on, no. Yeah, packing a lot into a... It's got a lot in it. And we're going to be releasing that come March, April time. We're still trying to lock that down. But we can confirm today, we are planning an Ultimate Edition for it. Good reaction. And it is going to be, actually, I believe, the first Ultimate Edition to include both the DVD and Blu-ray discs in it. Usually our Ultimate Editions are reserved for Blu-ray releases, but it's going to actually include the DVD version as well, and we're currently trying to work out exactly what we're going to put in there, but you could probably expect a massive art book featuring tons of the art that was included in the Japanese releases.
We have some nice things planned for the art group as well, so
yeah, we wanted to make mention of that because we know there are lots of you who like the Ultimate Edition releases, and obviously with Full Metal Panic here this weekend before its December release, we wanted to sort of look further ahead for you and give you another preview of what you can expect. And Terror in Resonance is one of those shows. If you'd like to actually check out the series, it is actually on Netflix at the moment. So if you've got Netflix, you can look up Terror in Resonance and sample the show for yourself to see what it is all about, and enjoy it, hopefully. It is also, there will be a dub of it as well included. I know a few people have been wondering about that. There is an English dub that's going to be in our release as well as the original Japanese audio with subtitles. And from here, I'm going to call my faithful friend, Mr. Stuart Claw. Are you about, sir?